Alrighty, good morning everyone. Today's date is June 18, 2024. It is a Tuesday. I do want to remind everybody that tomorrow is a holiday. More than likely in the morning, if anyone wants to hang around, I'll open the room and I'll be poking around a little bit. If you got nothing to do, early in the morning, I'll be here. So, yeah, invite you all, whoever wants to come. Yesterday, we've looked at the VIX a couple of times. I just want to start with the VIX this morning. We'll take a look at some charts that are possibly tradable. We're going to look at the market, and we're going to look at some more charts that are possibly tradable. So right now, the VIX is not doing anything to be overly concerned with. I really don't think so. You know, we've got a low here, and then we've actually got a higher low. We've rallied up and pulled back, kind of normal. We could start scooting up, and if we break out of this 1480, then things become not normal. That may be a problem for the bulls. But until that happens, I'm not going to get too concerned. It looks like VIX may be trying to sneak up here a little bit, but there's an awful lot of resistance in here that could kick it right back down. It's been up to this 1480. I mean, if you look at the chart, quite a bit, and it's been kicked back down. But a little relief rally will put a little squeeze on the market, give it a little bit of volatility. So we'll keep an eye on it if it starts to get out of hand. But right now, I don't believe it's out of hand at all. Okay. Let's take a look at a few charts here. These are some charts that some folks here in the room pointed out yesterday, and I flagged them. And I want you to know that I absolutely appreciate that when you guys all post charts, because if they, if I look at them and I kind of like them, I see some kind of future in them, or if you convince me there's a future in them, then I'll flag them. I put them on the watch list. Home Depot is one of those. Sorry, I do not remember who shared most of them, but I do thank you. Home Depot has pulled all the way back, and then what we've got here is, let me get my pen out. We'll do it this way. If we look at Home Depot here, you've got the T-line, the trend indicator, 50-period moving average. Price is above. I think that's great. But we also have the dotted deuce, the 200-period moving average right here. And this, by the way, this line that I have, it's the 34 EMA. This is just the linear regression of it. The 34 will walk above it, walk below it, just a tiny little bit. All I want is an area. And I don't know, I'm just trying this out. I kind of like just a little line rather than, a whole big line waving back and forth. But it represents the 34 EMA. So here we are above that with price. So we've got this crunch, this pinch, this squeeze of these moving averages here. And then we gapped up, and the gap is holding. That's positive. Bullish gap, hooray. And now we're holding. Positive, very positive. First target, clearly that's a no-brainer, 35.50 up here, these highs over here. Second target I'm looking at is about 356, followed by 365, and then we'll worry about all this in here if we can clear that 365. A typical entry would be a couple of ideas based on what we have right now. And let's do this, move that way. Let's grab this little tool here, make this blue. So a typical entry would be a 3/8 trap. So maybe somewhere in this area here. Also, that breakout. So you can see that the current price, let me move that, all right. See, we're currently pre-market, we're breaking out here. So if it gives us a reasonable entry, which I think that's up to each individual, what's reasonable, 5% higher, 2% higher, 5% higher, and a pullback, we'll watch it. I'll send alert out on it. I like this chart. It's setting up pretty nice. Or let's just see what this thing does today, and then we'll watch for that entry on some kind of an inside day. Bottom line, there's what we're looking for an entry in that circle right there. And then we'll look for the, the price to rally or move up to that 365.25 area right through here. Okay, so Home Depot is setting up pretty nice here. Let's look at, skip that one, Apple. Just take a look at Apple. A lot of people are watching Apple. Apple is it's one of those stocks that just brings the attention of everybody. And not everybody trades it. Not everybody can trade a $200 stock. And even folks that don't even trade have an interest in Apple. It's a household name. So watching Apple here, let me do this right here. I'm going to change this to blue, I think. There we go. So we've got Target, next target up here around $2.30. Yeah, $230. And here we have price above the T line, above the trend indicator. Beautiful trend. Take a look at that trend indicator here. The trend indicator is just nice and green. We've rallied up and we're pulling back into, you can call it a pop out of the box, or it's getting close to that anyway, or just a rest, consolidation. If you wanted to draw lines on the very highs, you could probably put a pennant in there or something like that. They're all the same. It's just resting here. Some traders I already know in the room are in it. In fact, let me check. Am I in it? No, I am not in it. So what I might watch to do, I personally would like to be closer to the T line here. And there's two ways that we can get close to the T line. One way is for price to fall, okay? That's probably not my favorite way. I really don't want that to happen, because that would just tell us that some bears are floating around in here. The other way that this thing can get closer to the T line is actually the T line or price stay in this area, and then the T line will work up. Every day it'll work up. And then we'll get closer, and then what I'll watch for is that buy signal in there. So that's something that I'm going to be watching for. I mean, if this thing takes off, I might miss it to that 230 range, but I'm going to kind of wait till it settles in just a little bit, a little closer to the T line, make me feel a little bit better, okay? Another nice chart is PINS, P-I-N-S. I see 47.90 up here as a reasonably good target. Could go higher. I'm not saying it can't go higher, but let's climb this tree, one branch at a time. Here we have broken out. Right, this is the breakout that we want right there, and we broke out, and now we're pulling back and testing that breakout line. That's a very bullish sign when we test with success. You can see that the trend indicator is nice and green. I'm just going to extend that up a little bit. Trend indicator there, green dots, nice and green right in here. You can see the 34 EMA 50 period moving average all pointing to the upside. Great candle pattern here. Right here, the third bar back, counting 1, 2, 3. That's a little tiny one, but there's a little tiny belt hold in there. And that belt hold showed positive trading the following day, still showing positive trading. So I've got my eyes on pins. Another one is Snap. I talked about this one yesterday. I'm kind of waiting for that little bit of a breakout, or maybe there's another sign right in here. If it hits me just right, I could see that as a buy. And then the next target up there is about 1730, which is a no-brainer, just testing this top up here, okay? Hey, we better go peek at the market a little bit. The SPY is still trending here. There's nothing in the world here that says the market is, the SPY, I should say, is bearish. There's nothing in the world here in this chart that suggests the SPY is going to pull back. There certainly could be somebody give some argument, and I may even give some of that argument as well. We're getting overbought, and we could start to see a pullback. The thing of it is, it's not going to happen till it happens, and you can't predict it. Like by noon today, we're going to pull back. You just can't predict those things. It doesn't work out for you so well on a regular basis. We follow the trend, and then when the price action gives us a reason, and we'll do that right there. That might give us reason. When it gives us reason to say, okay, we're setting up for a pullback now, that's what we'll talk about when it happens. Could be midday today. I mean, we could really get ugly here midday, and then we can start talking about a pullback here. Let's look at the diamonds real quick. Didn't exactly do anything great for the bigger picture, but it did work out okay yesterday. So far the diamonds here, we've got a low, high, higher low. We need that higher high up here, getting out of 391, almost 392. We do that, that may put the diamonds back on the conversation table for some bullishness. But right now, they're an anchor. They're the vegetables on your plate that if you don't like vegetables is what they are. So we need to make them better, turn them into meat and potatoes. So we'll keep an eye on that right there. I do want to. Yesterday we started talking about this a little bit. VT, maybe another way to look at everything, because when you're looking at the diamonds, you're looking at 30 stocks. Woohoo! When you're looking at the SPY, you're looking at 500 stocks. Let's give it one woo, okay? So how about we look at the big picture of everything, because that's really what makes everything work. I mean, if one side of the market is heading down, sucking palm water, not working, and there's another side of the market that's working itself up, we could have a very bullish market, or vice versa, we could have a bearish market. Maybe one way to take a look at the market and see how it's working is broaden what you're looking at, okay? And VT is a ticker symbol. It's the total world stock market ETF. Think about that, total world stock market ETF, because it's pulling its information from stocks all over. And look at that. How we doing there? Pretty darn good, isn't it? So anyway, it might be a way to, especially while we'll say the U.S. indices, while most people in the U.S. following the, maybe I'm wrong about that, we follow S&P 500. I know we follow the diamonds, IWM, those what I'm gonna call typical normal ETFs to tell us what the market is doing. But right now, they seem like they're battling each other. But if we come over here and we broaden the picture out, not so much of a battle. Take a look at VTI. This is the total stock market, okay? So these might be charts you peek at rather than focus on, if you're a diamonds follower, you're probably a pro-bearish person right now. If you're a SPY follower, you're probably a pro-bullish follower. Like the Qs, you're probably a pro-bullish at the moment. But here's, VT, VTI are two stocks maybe you can follow that give you a true picture of the overall market, because there's more stocks in those, okay? Let's look at a couple more charts while I'm here. Hey, how can we not look at charts and not mention Tesla, okay? So I bought some Tesla going into the close. Tesla so far has been a pretty good little money maker. We had Tesla gapped up, and I sold Tesla for a profit. Tesla has pulled back, and I bought more Tesla yesterday. Now Tesla's setting up right here, And by the way, this line right there is the dotted deuce, okay? So here we stopped at the dotted deuce, stopped at the dotted deuce. We're sitting there right now. What I'm looking for is follow through to about the $200 range. We'll consider taking some profits there. And I'm ultimately, providing the market holds up as a whole, ultimately I'm looking about 209 or the 200 period moving average here. Maybe higher, but we'll reevaluate here. Now, let's stop here for a second, okay? For new traders or traders that may be on drugs already this morning, I do not expect Tesla to do that, okay? I don't expect that. I don't expect that any chart I look at. If that happens, that's just a lucky day and I'm a happy camper. What I do expect is maybe something bullish here, maybe a little bit of rest, a little bit of that back and forth, a little bit of that, oh, okay, yeah, let's go, and here we go back down. But we may hold that trend just fine, okay? So I don't expect it just to pop up there. You're going to have to be a bit of a trader, a bit of a, understand price action. I will send out alerts on it and keep my thoughts out there if anyone's interested. NVIDIA, big player for everybody. After the split, it went from a crazy price that a lot of traders couldn't afford down to a price that a lot more traders can afford. So I know a lot are trading this. We're still holding NVIDIA up 20% right now. It's still riding that T-line. That's called a T-line run, by the way, when price is above the T-line for multiple days. And you can see it's been there for a little bit here. Nothing is to suggest selling at this moment. Based on yesterday and where we're opening up, I see a little softening, a little rest. But this candle's pre-market, so let's see what happens. Pre-market might really not do too much or not mean anything. I am going to drop that line right down there. We'll connect to this high, connect to this low, connect to the T-line. I absolutely see the possibility of moving back to the T-line. If I start to see buyers in there, that will be another buy on that chart. All right, everyone. Good morning, Carol. How are you? Everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Mind your P's and Q's. Make sure you take your profits. Cut those losses before they get too big. Don't eat like a bird and poop like an elephant, okay? If anyone needs me to explain that to you, let me know in the room. I will try to get my visual slides for you. All righty. You guys take care. We'll see you in about, half hour or so when the market opens up. See you in a bit.